Our next speaker, Kim Russell, is going to talk to you about an issue that is going to test your commitment to the Constitution. And so her group's called PUFMM. Kim Russell, everyone.
For some people, marijuana is the only medicine that will save their life. A person can spend 15 years in prison for possession of marijuana. Even the most zealous persecutor will not want to interfere with a legitimate patient's need for the drug, because everyone knows that would be un-American. And it turns out that it's unconstitutional as well. 14 states have nullified this unconstitutional federal law, and 8 more are on the ballot this November 2nd. It is well documented that George Washington used marijuana to treat headaches. This plant has hundreds of different varieties that treat hundreds of different conditions. We all know somebody that has experienced cancer. Did you know that marijuana not only helps comfort them during their therapies, but it has also been shown to control 5 types of cancer? Marijuana saves lives by stimulating the appetite. Cancer patients going through therapy don't have an appetite. They must eat in order to survive. Some people have been led to believe that Marinol is the same as marijuana. It is not. Marinol is the synthetic drug that contains 1 compound of the plant. The plant itself contains hundreds of compounds that are healing to the body. Marinol is also not easily absorbed by the system. So much of it is passed directly through the system, it is just like throwing money down the toilet. It costs $700 to $2,100 per month for this pharmaceutical drug that can be grown for pennies a day in somebody's backyard. The number of scientific studies supporting medical marijuana is overwhelming. 50,000 pages of evidence have been provided to the federal government in a request to reschedule marijuana. But yet the laws remain unchanged. Our legislators cannot continue to ignore the evidence. Our constitutional rights are being violated every day. There is no article in the Constitution that gives the federal government the right to ban a plant. There is no article that gives the federal government the right to tell us what to do with our bodies. The Founding Fathers thought long and hard about drafting this document. It was not drafted on a cocktail napkin. The things not addressed in the Constitution are not addressed for a reason. The Founders did not craft a government whose function is to legislate medicine, nor morality, nor micromanage every part of our lives. The 10th Amendment specifically states the powers of the federal government are limited to those delegated by the Constitution. It also says that the states have the power to govern themselves in all areas not addressed by the Constitution. Our legislators have forgotten what this country was founded on. In the crazed political environment that we experience these days, the basic principles of America are being ignored, like freedom and liberty for all. At the very heart of our Declaration of Independence proclaims we have certain unalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. For some, using marijuana is a life or death decision. For others, it is the pursuit of happiness. Either way, we do not have these inalienable rights. This nullification movement, which actually has been around for 200 years, is simply about states protecting their citizens from these unconstitutional federal laws. Why would our government want to ban these plants? Isn't it solely and benignly to protect our children? Come on. We all know that the lobbyists are the ones that make the laws in this country. It was this way back in the 1930s when marijuana prohibition started. Many industries stood to gain from prohibition, such as oil, paper, cotton, nylon, and some others. Hemp, which is made from the marijuana plant, was the main source of ropes and paper at the time. There were all higher par of hemp that actually ran on hemp oil. That's right, folks. Marijuana is an alternative fuel source. We often hear these laws are designed to protect our children. What exactly are our children being protected from? When parents are prosecuted, they are ripped away from their families, and the children are traumatized. That is not protecting our children. Many patients will tell you they are a better parent for using medical marijuana. It makes them more forgiving. That's right, more forgiving, more loving, and more patient. What better parent could there be? I agree that medical marijuana is not for everyone, but the people that need it should not be forced to break the law. It is unfathomable that 7 out of 10 of our Bill of Rights are being violated every single day. Amendment 1, the freedom of speech. We don't have freedom of speech in this country. People have been harassed for supporting our issue. There are people that won't sign our petition because they're afraid of getting on just yet one more government watch list. We have legislators telling us that they need to hear from patients and doctors, but the patients and doctors are afraid to speak out for fear of prosecution. This is not freedom of speech. Amendment 2, the right to bear arms. Absolutely. It has been limited, and it continues to be threatened every single day. Amendment 4, we are supposed to be protected against unreasonable searches and seizures. We're not being protected. Amendment 5, due process. A wrongly accused drug dealer can have his assets frozen and confiscated prior to finding any guilt, so he has no way to prove himself innocent. Not due process. Amendment 6, speedy trial. We have a medical marijuana patient over in the greater Tampa area who is also a paraplegic. Yes, he is sitting in jail for 4 months, just waiting, sitting there, waiting, no trial. And this is happening all over the country. Amendment 8, cruel and unusual punishment. If you talk to any medical marijuana patient who is refused their medicine, they will tell you it is cruel and unusual punishment. Amendment 10, you guys think more, limit to the federal government. That's what we're all here about today. They are controlling every part of our lives. This country was founded on the principle of state sovereignty. We are not supposed to be one big state. We are a federation of states, united under the principles of the Constitution, which our legislators seem to have forgotten. We need your help in nullifying these laws, which are literally causing hardship and pain. We are circulating a constitutional amendment petition in the state of Florida to re-legalize medical marijuana. Everybody knows us by PUFMM. My husband came up with that because it's so easy for people to remember. But our real committee name is People United for Medical Marijuana. We are the political committee that's behind the ballot initiative. There are 3 key points that you need to know when you're talking to people. It sounds like most people here already agree with me, but just to let you know, for some, there are strains of marijuana that are not psychoactive at all, but they still have medicinal benefits. Marijuana does not have to be smoked. Many people like to eat it, such as brownies. I think get her to sort of running. And third, it is impossible to overdose on marijuana, which makes it safer than aspirin. Those three facts can convince most people to sign our petition. Other things, of course, to consider are we are creating a new $1 billion a year industry for the state of Florida. We are going to create new jobs, over $200 million in sales tax revenues. It will lower health care and prosecution costs, all while easing the suffering of millions of people. We need to take our country back, one step at a time, and there is no more worthy or honorable step as this. Patients are suffering needlessly. We have a $1 billion a year industry at our fingertips, ready to make a lot of people really wealthy, and we're going to save lives. It is a win-win situation for everybody. Most of the people signing our petition are not marijuana users. But if they or a loved one were faced with a deadly disease, they would want the right to use the medicine that works best. For some, it is marijuana they would use to save their lives. Nobody should be forced to break the law in order to live. Please, 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 if you have not done so already, sign our petition. It is out by the big elephant. You can't miss it. And take some home with you. Pass them out to everybody that you know. Our mailing address is on the back. We need your help to get this accomplished. Thank you so much.